Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. For the second time in as many weeks, I have decided against starting out a book review by reading a synopsis. Typically, when I choose not to read a synopsis, it's because I think it is, a little bit too spoilery for my spoiler policy. However, in this case, I actually chose not to read the synopsis for different reasons. The first one is that the book I'm about to discuss addresses more of a niche interest, and therefore the synopsis doesn't really have the same importance as it would have otherwise. The second reason uh, is that I didn't really have my decision to read or review the book influenced in any way by the synopsis itself. So, for that reason, I'm just going to mention that a synopsis for the book exists and move on. The book that I'm going to be talking about is the Darmstadt Citizens book, 50 Moments of a City, written by author and journalist Klaus Honold. Or to be more specific, Klaus Honold created the most recent edition of this book that I am aware of, alongside various collaborators, chief among them being photographer and editor Thomas Hahn. It is likely a more recent edition of this book will have appeared in between the time in between the time I acquired the book and the time you're watching the video. But even assuming that's the case, the content would be about 90% the same. So I think it's still safe to so I think it's still safe for you to watch this video and get what even that most what even future editions uh, of this book will be about. Uh, Assuming they aren't too far ahead in the future. For those of you who wonder, this book isn't actually one I bought. It was one I was actually gifted at an event hosted by the Darmstadt city government. An event hosted by the mayor in one of his last official duties before his term came to an end. And it was an event dedicated to the to some of its residents, namely the ones that in the months prior to it became German citizens. Gifting some iteration of this book has been a tradition at the at that event or at events like it ever since 1964. So surprisingly, this review also coincides with this book's anniversary milestone, even though I did not really intend for it to be the case. Anyway, history aside, what is it about this book or about its actual content that makes it worthwhile? Well, the TLEW for this review is this book covers a wide variety of topics covering what life within my home city of Darmstadt is actually about, going through the social, cultural, industrial, and political aspects, all the while covering various points in history that have shaped these aspects into what they are today, in order to give a comprehensive, even if not exhaustive, list of all the things that characterize living within this urban population center. If you are interested in a particular brand of applied urbanism, i.e., if you watch Adam Something, Not Just Bikes, and/or City Beautiful, and can read German, then this book might be might be up your alley, might be within your sphere of interests. For those of you who need a little bit more coaxing, or who want to find out what is in the book without necessarily intending to read it, well, that's what the rest of this video is going to cover. The book opens up on two sections describing the social and political aspects of living within the city, as in what kinds of what kinds of features it has, what kind of public or what kind of public life or free time activities you can enjoy within, and also the political how various decisions are made, and going through the history of one particular decision and how that changed over the course of its time from idea to implementation. The book also covers how these aspects converge into each other, how they uh, exercise a reciprocal influence, thereby establishing something that will come up again and again throughout the book, namely how interconnected and varied the various aspects of the city actually are. Once that basis is established, the book then delves somewhat into the past, and goes into actually one of the darker moments in the city's history, when it was entirely leveled, or not, maybe not entirely, mostly leveled during World War II. How its citizens struggled to survive and keep on living within that within the time between the bombing and the end of the war, and then goes into the reconstruction efforts that occurred that began after the war was over, and how it is that those efforts shaped the city as it is known today. It is, I will say, within this period that the bulk of this book's historical focus is directed. And when looking through this period, it very heavily focuses upon various influential figures, both in the social and the political realm, and describes not only what it is that makes them tick, but also what it is about the solutions that they presented that ended up influencing or shaping the various aspects of the city itself, and how the city set its priorities in order to once again make itself establish itself as a point of interest and a point of activity, be that industrial, cultural, or otherwise. But it doesn't really focus solely on the top-down approach. It's not just about no, it's not just partisan politics about the people up top. There is plenty of talk about how common people have influenced the decisions of the city, and how they've opened up avenues for themselves in order to act as decision makers for how their city would end up being formed, being developed, and how their activities led to how their activities led to the avenues of influence that modern Darmstadt citizens also have. I'm pretty sure not all of the events that this book describes about about this point of history really ran as smoothly as the book itself presents them, but the overall I'll say display of the social evolution of the city and of its rebuilding efforts, I think is still believable and approachable. The final third of this book covers the city from an industrial and cultural perspective, looking into the opportunities and possibilities that the citizenry of Darmstadt has at their disposal, while also going into some of the thought processes or motivations behind what it is that made these particular opportunities seem possible or even seem interesting. That being said, they are not the only guiding principles that that the city follows, and in fact, it kind of goes out of its way to showcase that that governance within the city isn't top down, but it's not entirely bottom up either. So there is a free exchange of ideas that the author tries to establish here. How effective it is at actually translating that, I'm not exactly sure. I have to confess I'm not really in the I'm not really into local politics to the extent where I can really make that assessment. So yeah, but that's not a problem on this book. That's on me. I'm not properly equipped to really review that part of it. Overall, even though it glosses over some aspects of the topics it presents, the book nevertheless does a very good job at presenting and establishing the mental framework that is established from living within the social environment that the city presents, while also doing an intriguing job at highlighting various perspectives and assessments concerning what it is about the city that works, that is effective, that is interesting and desirable, and the various parts that aren't. My final rating for the Darmstadt Citizens book, 50 Moments of a City, is a 4 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book or to my review of it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My own books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and the Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective master links in the description down below. Right past my own social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, you have the option of supporting me on Patreon, where depending on the level at which you pledge, you'll receive various perks, the specifics of which I'll allow you to discover for yourselves. I also have a second channel where I talk about whatever it is that interests me within that moment. So if that sounds like something that might catch your attention, or that you want to bring your attention upon, well then you can go ahead and do just that. Alternatively, you can stay on this channel and go through my quite extensive backlog, or you can do whatever else with your time. It is your time after all. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.